Hello, my name is Zachary, and I would like to give you a brief overview of what you will find in the Interactive Level 2 material. Let's take a look. In methodology, you'll find information about the entire Level 2 overview, the different slide types you find within the new Level 2, all of the interactive functions that you'll have a chance to use, and you'll also hear from our curriculum team about their perspective in terms of the new Level 2. Next, we'll take a look at the key skills. The key skills are broken down into 4 sections. We'll look at ways that you can make things easier for your student in class in terms of their understanding and comprehension, how to make your student more comfortable, different ways you can increase student output, and different ways you can prepare for the classroom. Before we dive into the material, let's see what some of our teachers have said about the new Level 2.
Specifically in regard to the new interactive level 2, I think that it's very important to keep in mind that the way that the lesson is presented is different. It's different. It can be very attractive to the student, so I think that's a great thing. But it's very different for the teachers that are familiar with the old level 2. So I think it's very important to keep in mind that although it looks very simple, there's less text. You know, that's the biggest thing that I hear as a response. And I think we all notice, you know, there's fewer sentences written in the early level 2 material. But that does not mean that it's lacking in content. I feel that it gives really a great opportunity for us to help the student hear more language. Instead of focusing on word for word that's written and trying to memorize certain sentences, they're relaxing and hearing the language, repeating the vocabulary, hearing a sentence. You know, the teacher models a sentence, the student can slowly learn that sentence. So we shouldn't just be saying those vocabulary words, bed, bed, table, table. There's more to it than that. You know, we are adding pronouns. We are adding a conjugation of verbs. She sleeps, he sleeps, I sleep. So this is very different for the student at this beginner level 2 lesson. So I think that's very important to keep in mind that as teachers, we really can help the student have success, really advance throughout these early level 2 lessons and really make progress in the actual communication skills. Because really that's the important part of language learning. Will the student be able to use it? Will they be able to acquire the language well enough to have a conversation? So if we think of ourselves as facilitating that and helping the student have very clear, easy to understand repetition of those sentences, then they will learn and have success in the lessons as a part. Again, my focus always is on giving a lesson that the student finds enjoyable, because if the student dreads coming to class after a long day, they will not be able to absorb as much. So if we keep the lessons fun, interesting, exciting with new props and new ideas and great rewards, then I think the students will really thrive as a result of that.
I think the IPA actually allows for more flexibility. It allows for that time to either expand. So for a student that needs more practice, you're able to spend more time on a slide. Or if a student has mastered a concept and you need to extend, you have that flexibility. There's a lot of a variation in how you might teach these slides. So, you know, if there's one word on the slide, maybe for your lower student, producing that word over and over again is enough. That's difficult enough for that student. If you have a more advanced student, that student might actually be able to use the word in a sentence already. So I think understanding the level of your student and adapting the lesson, differentiating to meet their needs is important. I think the new structure really empowers teachers. So I've never felt like I was reading a script, but I think that with the older curriculum, there was so much content to go through and so many sentence patterns to repeat that sometimes you didn't have time to really make the lesson your own or adapt it to the student because you're getting through the material. The new structure really allows the teacher to adapt the lesson for that student. So if the student is an average to lower student, you're providing much more repetition, especially on the introductory slides. For your more advanced students, you have a lot more time to extend on the material and to use those sentence patterns in new situations, to apply more vocabulary. You have just a lot more flexibility. I really like the new structure.
In addition to the changes in the structure of the course, there's also changes in the content. The new Level 2 is much more closely aligned with the Common Core State Standards and the Chinese National Standard. So for example, we can look at this chart here. We can see CSSS, which is a Common Core State Standard, alignment of the new Level 2 with grade K, is total about 61% after the upgrade. The Chinese National Standard, which is now included in the new Level 2, which includes Chinese National Standard Level 1 and Level 2, is 53% and 35% respectively. And the CEFR, the Common European Framework of References, is also aligned with the new Level 2 at 39% and 12% respectively. The purpose for aligning the new Level 2 with these different standards is that it gives parents an understanding of what they're getting when their children enroll in Level 2. They know that the student is not only learning material that is applicable for Common Core State Standards, but is also applicable for what they're learning in their school, in their daily life, for the Chinese National Standards, and then even for the SEFR standards, should the student decide to study in England or Europe when they're older, they also have that. So please check out the rest of the Level 2 interactive material that you'll find here to get a sense of all the changes that you'll see and how you can adapt to these changes in the classroom. Thank you and happy teaching!